I hope all is well. As always, I'm going to be going over the S&P 500 E-mini futures, but today will be a little longer. I'm going to be going over the best trades for Monday, Tuesday, and then I'll be going over the price action, the trades I took, and some of the best trades of today. I apologize for not uploading a video for Monday or Tuesday. Unfortunately, I was at a funeral, so I wasn't able to trade either of those days, but I'm going to just quickly go over my favorite trades. I still was monitoring even though I couldn't trade. Um, Monday was a bit of a trading range or kind of a slight bull channel up trading rangey day. I thought there was a couple good trades. I thought after a good IBS push through of 18 of the EMA and kind of a short pullback with a lot of upside potential on 19, you could have gotten in here and at least gotten 5 to 10 points. Again, kind of on that same note, I think kind of after these two pushes down, it restarts the leg count. You get a good 4 pushes up with some good strength factors in here, micro gaps, some strong IBS. Could have bought 42, even though 42 had as a good close, and scalped up for, you know, at least, 4 points and could have gotten to that full 5 or 7. It's kind of all I saw on Monday, nothing really spectacular. Tuesday, on the other hand, was a fantastic day. I really wish I would have traded this day. I think I would have very, very. I think I definitely would have made at least 40 points very confidently. Would have made 40 plus points, at least 20. Um, as you can see, you have this great 4 bar push down to start off the day. You get a pullback failure on 5. You can sell to the EMA and make 7 points there. And then you can look at this as one leg down on the 15-minute chart needs a second leg down. You could have sold either um, the close of 11 thinking that that is a confirmation of a second leg on the 15, or you could have even waited for 12 closing below the EMA. Then it's breakout mode, definitely needs a second leg. Could have gotten 21 if you sold the close of 11. Could have gotten 16 if you sold the close of 12. So that'd be already up 20 plus points on the day at that point. Some kind of trading range behavior. There's 3 pushes up in here, but I don't think you'd want to be trading against this regime. Some good pushes down, but nothing really spectacular until you get to the breakout of bar 45 to 50. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars breaking above the EMA with strength factors, time factors, distance factors, tick gaps, micro gaps, some strong IBS bars. This will has a high percentage of getting a second push up. If a pullback failure to the EMA on 51 would have to sit through 52, but could have scalped up at least 5 points, 8 points at its peak. Could have walked away with a quick 5 there. I think then again, kind of a similar thing. You get these 1, 2, 3 pushes up, sideways, restarts the leg count, get a good breakout below the EMA, 64 pullback failure, doesn't really get a good close above the EMA. You could have sold at the close there, little risky, made 10, or you could have waited for the close of 65, sold there and made at least 5, if not 7 points, or even at the peak, you could have made probably closer to 10. This probably needs a second leg now too. You could have sold, the close. This is kind of later in the day, not something I'm interested in, but you could say this pullback failure in 76, they can't get close above the EMA, and then it sweeps down. Could have probably made, um, you could have made 20 points there. So yeah, definitely a very strong day if you read the price action well on Tuesday. Tons of great movements, tons of great opportunities to, have an absolute killing day. Now getting in today, a little something new, the way that I'm looking at these trades. The ones that are covered in red is trades that I lost on. The ones in green are ones that I won on. And yeah, that's about it. And then the ones on blue is ones that I wish I would have taken. I think there's one down here. But as you guys know, green or orange lines pre-market high, purple lines previous day low, previous day high, and then orange previous day or pre-market low. Sorry, pre-market high, pre-market low in the orange, previous day low, and the previous day high was way up there on the purple. And before I get into this price action analysis, shout out to Al Brooks. His course will be down below, and a huge shout out to my mentor Troy H. Okay, we start off the day with a good couple kind of doji trading range bars, and then we get a great four pushes down with tons of strength factors ripping through the EMA. Um, could have sold three a little early in the day, a little premature, so I wanted to wait for a pullback. So you get four bar micro channel with good strength factors, tick gaps, micro gaps, strong IBS. You kind of get a pullback failure on 7. I expected this to at least test the previous day low, which would be 5 points, and maybe even get to the pre-market low. It didn't do that, and I had a very short stop loss of 5 points, like I've talked about with my very low risk management now system. So I had stopped out at bar 13, and unfortunately, as you guys can see, it took a bit of a complicated pullback and some time, but this did get a second push down, and a very significant second push down. Um, Even though this was kind of a doji, maybe second leg or even third leg if you wanted to count 17, just kind of a lot of sporadic movement today. But I wanted to make those 5 points back, and probably not the best trade, a little bit revengey, but I thought that with such a strong close and strong micro gap on 22, it would have somewhat of a second push down, even if it wasn't very much, it would at least try to maybe touch the pre-market low. And so I just took 5 points in that trade right there, so I was break even on the day. I think this may have restarted the leg count too, is another way that I looked at it. You can see right here using Fibonacci that at its peak, this is about 55%, 50% pullback on 24. So I think you could have thought this was leg one, pretty big pullback on 24, gets a second leg, probably needs a little bit more of a push down. You could have sold 24, looking at it as confirmation of a second leg. Um, and then got at least 10 points, or you could have waited and saw, okay, this is now exhausted, and took in about 6 points on this trade. If not, you could have even sold the close of 24, even though it's a good bar, thinking that this was going to get a second push. You get a strong reversal up at this point now, and you get some really good movement. I think at the peak this is 32, 39, almost 40 points at its wick, at its high. You get 4 bars. 27 is a great bar, good micro gap, really good close, strong IBS. 28 and 29 are not, but 30 again has a strong micro gap closing above the EMA significantly. So I thought that this definitely needed a second leg. I thought the bears were probably exhausted. You have one push here, two, maybe three, even 4 pushes down, at least 3 or 2 for the bears. Maybe a little bit of a midday, early morning rally for the bulls. So once this couldn't close below the EMA, I bought 31, and unfortunately, this is where I had a little bit misjudgment call, and I changed one of my rules within this. But once I was up, as you guys can see, around 7 points, I dragged my stop loss to break even when I specifically had it kind of below 30 at this 5 point down loss limit, because I thought this was good enough confirmation. But a rule that I have established now is that um, I will only drag my stop loss to break even once I'm up 50% of my full TP. And clearly, my hypothesis was that this was going to try to test the pre-market high. Um, so I should have waited to be up at least 10 points. So here on bar uh, 41 until I dragged my stop loss up. So I dragged my stop loss up, and very unfortunately got hit on 40. Very, like I just said, I just got to keep that rule in mind now while I'm trading. But as you can see, my hypothesis clearly worked out. Tries to pull back to the MA, strong rejection multiple times, and this gets a second leg after a kind of complicated sideways pullback. Second leg tries to test the pre-market high, eventually gets there, but I think after this doji bar, I would have just sold up 20 points, so I could have made 20 there. But at this point, I was just still break even on the day. Um, so yeah, we get 1, 2, maybe 3 pushes up, then more trading range. And I thought at this point, the Bears had a good start off to the day. You kind of get this midday rally. I thought maybe the Bears would try to take over again, trying to re-control the day because it kind of started off very bearish. Um, but I just was a little bit just a little too premature on this. After I saw 58, I really thought that it was going to try to break through the EMA, fill some of these micro gaps from earlier in the day, really try to break out low for the day, kind of go in a lower direction. So we kind of get one, and then it tries to rally back up, and it finishes off bearish. I was clearly wrong. definitely premature. I should have waited for at least confirmation below the EMA or at least a stronger breakout bar. But right when I took the trade, I knew that it was foolish and I lost 5 points on this trade. And clearly, this trade ended up being, after this trading range, this was leg one, 59 through 63 here. You have 5 bar micro channel with strength factors, distance factor. Definitely going to get some sort of a second leg up. Um, it gets one, pullback two, kind of climactic on 66. I sat through this a little bit because I had a take profit a little higher up, and I eventually just ended up taking profit. I actually just dragged my stop loss up to break even and let it run a little bit. And as you can see on bar 60, um, on bar 60 or 77, my stop loss got hit, so I finished break even on the day. Should have been up at least 20 points today, maybe 15, if I just wouldn't have made that little mistake of dragging my stop loss up too soon, kind of having too good of risk management. But definitely a good day to trade if you saw the right price action, saw the right trades to get into. Could have easily had a really bad day as well, but I thought it was a good day to just have a lot of patience, let the market talk to you, jump in, have very small risk to high reward management, and it should have been a killer day for me. And I hope you guys were very successful. Before I go, shout out Al Brooks. His course will be down below as always, and a huge shout out to Troy H, my sensei. I appreciate him and everything he's done for me. See you guys tomorrow.